last time we talked about being honest with the self, being honest with ourselves, and the benefits that come from naming a feeling, naming what has already happened. It's not a predictor. It's just a distancer, actually. By being honest, we get to belong to ourselves. We get to be in truth, and truth is grounding. If you are running out of money, for example, let's say your rent is $1,500 and there's $750 in the bank, and you have to come up with the rest of the money. The child in us would say, scary, I don't have the money, I don't want to see, or it's not happening, or I'm not good enough, go to shame, or go to, if I hadn't done this, then that, perceived mistakes. If any of that is going on, naming it. So let's say, okay, look, I'm going into perceived mistakes. Possibly that could help me not to do it again for next month, but really just saying, it appears I don't have the money for the rent. Let me become available to myself, be present to myself. And that would mean acknowledging I went into not good enough, imagining all the mistakes that created this, imagining, because you don't know, you only know your perspective, you only know your perception. There's always more to the story. There's more to the weather than it's raining. Forces come together. It isn't only one thing. And we have partial viewing. We have glasses on from our point of view. So what I got back from that last Thursday musing is, Rosalind, what if I don't know what's going on with me? Does that mean I can't be present? So if I can't name a feeling, let's say I don't have the money, I just saw that I don't have the money, I can say, what's happening is my heart is racing. Or I could watch Netflix, or I could go eat a pint of ice cream, or I could do any other addiction, or get busy cleaning the house and do some form of I won't look. My friend does 50 ways to earn money when we don't have the money. So using this example, what could I do if I'm just honest? I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm scared. That's not my language. I might use the word anxious. I'm anxious, but so far, let's say I haven't been willing to use those feelings. So anxious, it's an all over witnessing of a nervousness, but it doesn't give you a handle. Fear gives you a handle. Imagined unworthiness, because you're making it bigger and you can see what's going on, and you can see more than just anxiety. You can see fear. You can see the what ifs that are predicting. You can see the mind that says, oh, I'm going to be out in the street, or do I ask this person, or do I start flooding? So you can see that thoughts are just going round and round. But what if you don't know? You can be present to the body. If you aren't good yet at labeling feelings, you can notice thoughts. The only problem with any of this is not the feeling. Even unworthiness is not a feeling that matters unless you believe it. Unless you believe your fears. As though when you were a child, it was that desperate, it was that scary. But now you have more choices than you did when you were a child. So coming back to your adulthood is very important. So if I don't know my feelings, or I've not been willing to look at them yet, and I just let my thoughts run the show and I believe them, I could tap into how tight I'm feeling. Like there's constriction everywhere, I'm freezing, or I've flown away, right? Fight or flight, or freezing, or what we do when we're reacting and we're not able to connect with ourselves. But with a little bit of courage and a little bit of breaking it down. Maybe I don't have the answer to how I'm going to pay the rent or what's going to happen, but I could break it down a little bit into either thoughts and, oh, look at my thoughts, they're scaring me. Let me take a little bit of distance and step into the observer of my thoughts and not add. It's so simple, but it is an intervention available even when we feel triggered. But what's needed is a little bit of courage. Only a little bit, not to add. But it takes, I want to say willingness, but in the moment that we're in another place, it's kind of the next step. We don't have it yet, but we can go to willingness. We can go to courage. It's always there because the new moment is always there. And that's what we forget when we're stuck. We feel like this is going to go on forever, whatever this is. So I'm going to leave this really short today. I'm going to try making these even shorter. And let's see what breaking it down. Let me just see how my body's feeling. And let me tell the truth. My body is contracted about this rent that I seem not to be able to pay. Do you see that it takes us out of the current experience? When we name it, we're just a little bit back. That is a secret. I would love for you to notice how your ego is dismissive of everything that's simple. The personalities, oh, give me something new, give me something that's going to be some miracle pill I can swallow that takes everything away. we would go for that before we would go for the same truth that we've heard before, but haven't really implemented, because we like new and shiny. I like new and shiny, but new and shiny isn't always what we're touting it to be. So thank you for listening. Look for just a little bit of willingness or courage. And, we think of courage as not being afraid. But guess what? In order to be courageous, that means you were afraid. Because if it didn't overcome fear, it wouldn't be courage. If I just feel like doing it, I don't think you would call it courageous. So that's my gem for you today. Be courageous. Let's join in being courageous. And even if it's little, let's call it courageous. And give ourselves a paperclip. Some of you know me from other classes, and I've been doing a paperclip every time. I love what I've just done. I get appreciation with another paperclip, and it needn't be a big accomplishment. They're very generous, these paperclips, and it's so silly that it makes me laugh. And I'm in a wonderful state when I'm given to myself with all of this appreciation for wherever I've been. So even using paper clips for anything, if you get it, that you are training yourself to treat yourself differently. And the neural pathways get going. And pretty soon your experience of being you is going to be different. Bye for now.